You guys have all done these before?
With a quick briefing and files in their hands, officers from the New Haven Police Department joined with state police troopers, U.S. Marshals, and probation officers to try to track down 38 convicted sex offenders who are wanted on warrants.
Every 6 months or so, we do roundups, and so these are all the most recent sex offenders who have failed to register.
Or the warrants say they violated probation or failed to verify their addresses, which is mandated under the sex offender registry.
212, that's who we're looking for.
This morning, teams of officers went to each of the offenders' last known addresses to take them into custody.
You could wait under here till the wagon gets here.
Some were easy to find, like this young man who didn't want to make any comments about his arrest. Others took more tracking.
So it has to be this one.
Police went to 3 different addresses before they found this man who also didn't want to comment.
A lot of times the addresses that people might use are relatives, and they may or may not have information on the actual whereabouts of that person. In this case, it actually worked out. The information that was given to us was actually correct, and we were able to make the arrest.
Detective Jesse Augusto says that getting 2 out of the 5 people who were on her team's list is pretty typical for this type of roundup.
Especially when you're dealing with like fair to verify warrants, because the reason they're not verifying is because they're probably not living at the addresses that we have on file for them.
But police say it's an important thing for law enforcement to do, especially when there are nearly 40 sex offenders who are allegedly not obeying the law.
EIR has been here actually 2 years. Now that's a boxer in the making right there. I started the gym with the thought that, you know what, I needed to give back to this very community where I grew up. Come on, get those tires moving. This neighborhood really lacks recreational activities. Good, 1, 2, get low. It teaches discipline, helps with self-esteem. Good. Children that have issues that are being bullied in school. And it helps with self-control, believe it or not. 1, 2. Much better.
In here, we can only punch each other in the ring and not outside.
You got to get full extension, so how about take a step back? The biggest piece to this sport is discipline, and that's really what this is about, discipline.
If you get into a fight, you can't use your boxing skills, because if somebody finds out that comes here, you end up getting suspended from the gym for using it out in the real world.
I get so much pleasure from doing this, and I know that at some point I've impacted or made some difference in one of the kids here. And if it's only one, that's okay with me.
Fires today aren't what they used to be, and that poses new challenges for the men and women who work to put them out.
The problem we're having today is with today's furniture, with loading with so much plastics and things like that, is that flashover can occur in as few as 3 minutes in a regular room.
That means the entire room goes up in flames. In just 3 minutes, it will ignite even the firefighters who may be inside. It's one of the most dangerous situations firefighters face.
It's amazing. You could be 3 feet away from that fire and not see it at all.
But there are certain symptoms that you can see, and the Stamford Fire Department wants to make sure firefighters know what they're looking for. It held a training session and threw trainees into a fire simulator.
You walk in, the instructor will be in the front, all right? When he tells you to kneel down, you're going to kneel down.
The firefighters geared up, making sure that no part of their skin was exposed to the intense heat and the flames that could easily top 2,000 degrees.
Turn around. Okay, go in on that side.
Once inside, they saw the smoke and felt the intense heat right before the flashover.
Your air tank got hot when you were breathing in. It got pretty hot. And it surprised me how the flames could dance like right above your head.
To experience just how hot it got, I geared up.
Suspenders.
Then made my way into the simulator to watch the flames roll overhead. Once the oxygen hit the fire, the flames took over, something no firefighter wants to see when they enter a room.
This also is the training that keeps us alive. This is to show us this can kill us in a real fire, so this shows us what to look for, where we have to hit.
So that every firefighter on a call returns home after the fire is out.
Feel okay?
In Stamford, Amanda Rouse, NBC Connecticut News.
From here, tap, rack.
This is, part and parcel to their firearms training. It was the introduction into firearms training, which a lot of it has to do with being able to handle the weapon in stressful situations, in situations where you may have a weapon jam on you.
Whether we're doing this, all right.
They have to know how to field strip the weapon, put it back together. Hopefully, after a while, without looking at it, they need to know the nomenclature of the weapon inside and out, and it's vitally important. You have to know how to clear those jams. So a lot of what you're seeing are 2 stages of stoppage drills.
Show me a second phase stoppage.
You have to know how to clear it, and you have to do it quickly.
How many times does it take to grasp a basic, simple technique? 2,000 to 3,000 times. 2,000 to 3,000 times.
It's vitally important. People need to be able to do this if they're in a situation where they need that weapon and that weapon's not going to perform properly. They need to know how to fix it, and they need to know how to fix it almost instinctively.
She joined the team at 4 with our beginner level. By the time she was 8, she was doing extremely well. 2 backstrokes. The first one was a 5, second one was a 7. Let's see if we can't keep them 7 or better in that range. And by the time she was 12, she had made the U.S. sectional meets, and she was off from there.
I just like the feel of the water and like moving fast, and I just love to swim.
When you're doing your breakout, that first underwater pull is a little wide. Tuck that elbow in so you're finishing in through here. Being ranked 7th in the United States right now, what I keep trying to explain to her is they should be looking out for you.
I'm hoping to make it to the Junior World Championships in Singapore.
Do the kick freestyle, but the swim part backstroke. Swimming is still fun, and we're trying to keep it that way while she progresses through the national level.
We're out here for the 24th playground build for the Sandy Ground project.
You might be able to use the chainsaw now that all those nails are out of the way, Jace. I'm here because this could have been my kids. It could have been anyone's kids.
Okay, you guys shouldn't be moving this post. It's such a good feeling to do something like this, to help out the community and help the families out. Right here, that's it. Everybody pitches in. It doesn't matter what the weather's like. We've worked through the rain before.
All right, back it up.
It's my 3rd one. I think it's very important to be part of this great cause and remembering all these kids and the teachers and the principal for their sacrifice.
Just get it in a little snug so we don't lose it.
As a dad, you look at what this represents, and it represents the life of a child in her honor.
Hang on.
Certainly I'm going to think about Charlotte Bacon, and I'm going to think about the community spirit that went into making this all happen.
On behalf of over 1,000 members and volunteers of the Shoreline Trolley Museum, it's my privilege to welcome PA3 car number 745 into the collection. Car 745 is the most significant artifact now in our collection in terms of its importance to general global human history and not just rail transportation. Career of car 745 ended suddenly and tragically, frozen in time.
We have a number of subway cars here from the Newark area, and they're known as big heavy-duty mass transit vehicles. And this one went from, like I said, being a subway car, and now it's an icon.
I believe this path car is now bursting with pride and humility in her new role at the Shoreline Trolley Museum. She will serve as a tribute to the unsung heroes of that day.
Also some pride in that we're going to be able to let people basically all over the area and possibly even the world, if you want to go that far, have a chance to connect with 911 on something that's actually a survivor. Here you had something that went in and out of New York City every day for decades, just carrying people, going about its business, and then one day it all ended. And in some ways our innocence got lost as a country that day. And this is what this thing reminds me of, that how much the world changed for us all that day. It's also a reminder for us of all the emergency responders, the first responders who went to this and gave their all, literally, to save people.
Like any good gymnast,
Heather Gilmore knows how to balance. Because of cystic fibrosis, Heather's balancing act requires 30 to 40 pills a day, 4 nebulizers, and a vibrating vest to clear mucus out of her lungs. Heather was diagnosed with CF when she was 6 months old. Now 26, she's lived with it all her life.
I tell them it's like a 24/7 cold. You'll hear me sniffle, you hear me cough and clear my throat. But other than that, I've been able to just accept my condition and live life to the fullest.
Heather is one of 30,000 people in the United States with CF. There is no cure for the disease, but thanks to advances in medicine, patients are living longer. Dr. Jonathan Koff is the director of the Adult Cystic Fibrosis Program at Yale University.
20 years ago, individuals weren't living into their teens, and when a patient, when a family had a child with CF, they were often told that they wouldn't live to see, 18, 20. Now the median survival is 40.
Despite coughing more than 100 times a day, Heather has never been admitted to the hospital for CF. The Madison native says gymnastics keep her healthy.
I'm on top of the world. It's that I can be normal, is that I can breathe freely. And when I'm at gymnastics, I feel that CF is not a part of it here.
She's definitely reaping the rewards of being fit and and exercising regularly. But we still know that there are certain parts of the disease that need to be treated.
As for the future, there are drugs being tested which might help improve symptoms and keep the disease at bay. In addition to gymnastics, Heather already has the best medicine.
A good outlook on life, and that's all I can do. If I dwell, I'm going to dwell, and everything else will drop. My lung function will drop, my weight will drop, so that's why I always stay happy.